Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round 10 at the track Too Tough to Tame. As we head under the lights at Darlington Raceway for one of the longest races of the season, pressure is being felt by those drivers close to the cutoff, as tonight is the final race before playoffs begin. With 7 drivers locked in and a long night ahead, find out tonight who will earn their Darlington stripes and who will tame the track and head to victory lane. We have no driver interviews tonight. I gotta get you in here, Element. How are you doing tonight?
Well, I'm doing just fine. I'm here. I'm ready. Let's go. We got Darlington and Lady in Black. My favorite color. It's going to be a good night.
It's crazy, and we have new paint schemes out here tonight, so I'm excited to see what these guys brought to the track. We have 19 guys out here getting ready to qualify as we speak, so it's going to be an exciting night. You can see them right there, but as these guys are qualifying, I want to take a look at what we can expect at Darlington. These guys can get anywhere from 23 to 25 laps of fuel. Now their times, we're seeing some guys at like 29.0. Those are going to be probably a pole time right there. I don't even think that we're going to see that possibly in qualifying. We'll have to see. It's going to be close, Element.
I think you're going to see a 28.8.
You think? All right, and who's pulling this one off?
I think it's going to be between a couple guys. I think it's going to go between Tom, Rangers. You know, throw a guy in there like maybe Justin out qualifying him.
All right.
I like 28.9 or a 28.8, you know.
I'm
you never
catching
know.
what you're throwing here.
I feel like a 28.8 is going to be the pole time tonight. Like, Kyle Fink come out and just smoked everybody with 28.8. He likes a loose race car, so he'll hang it out. He'll hang it out with the best of them.
Oh, absolutely. These guys are all lined up. We're going to get Kyle Fan out, and this guy I feel like is overdue for a win. He's had a lot of strong races out here. Will tonight be one of those that he wins? I know we watched him in practice, and he had a couple of spots coming off of 2 that he was a little concerned about, so we'll see how he does in qualifying and the race. I want to give a quick shout out to Aries and Kool-Aid in chat. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I hope you guys enjoy the race. But let's go back to Darlington and what we can expect. 184 laps tonight. It's going to be insane. 57 laps for stage 1, 54 for stage 2, and 67 for the final stage. So you're going to get at least 2 pit stops for these guys in each stage. You know what? This is one of those where I'm glad I'm in the booth and I don't have to race out there. I mean, Darlington is a tough track, Element.
Darlington, tough track. Ah! What a good joke. No. She is wicked. She is blasphemous. She will bite you. Darlington, the Lady in Black, is a tough track to tame, and tame is the game. And whoever can do the best at taming is going to be the winner tonight.
It's so true. True.
It's a slippery slope.
You can see the 11 of Rangers in that new paint scheme looking pretty good out there. He is out there qualifying at the moment, so we'll see how he does. In the 42, we have Thrills. Another strong driver out here, yet he has not had a lot of luck this season. Really unfortunate. I mean, we've seen him go for the wins, and some unfortunate circumstances have happened, taking him out of the contention for the win. So will he be one that we see up front? We'll have to find out. I have not seen him in practice. It'll be interesting to see.
Well, he's not named Thrills for no reason. He's the thriller, and he likes to put on a show, so I got a feeling we might see him up here at the end of this race because he's gonna want to thrill the fans.
I think you're right. We have the 32 of Rye Bread. He is a new joiner for SnB for the league here. He's raced a couple of times, been pretty strong. You can see that paint scheme in that 32 looking pretty good out there. We'll see how he does tonight. Again, he's another one who I have not seen practice, and already you can see how loose he's getting off, coming off of the turns. Now these guys are going to run higher presets, so it's going to tend to get more loose compared to the race where they're running lower presets. Element, if you're out there in the race, what preset are you thinking?
Woo! Like my experience on Heat 5 is one league race, and I think maybe 10 preset races, just not regular presets, but I think I've had a preset race and 1 or 2 custom set races, so my experience on it is very null. But going from previous experience from Heat 4, I would say if you're going to do qualifying, you definitely want to have a freer setup. So I would run either a 7 or 8. I might even push a 9. I ran 9 at a lot of tracks on NASCAR Heat 4. But I would probably in this game, yeah, for qualifying. For qualifying here, I would probably run. The thing that I found with this game is you can't really run a 9, just because of how a wheel reacts with it. So it's just very awkward, very weird. Feels like it's got a huge dead zone in it. So I'd probably rock an 8 or 7 in qualifying, and for race, I'm going with probably a 4, maybe pushing a 5. And
yeah.
That's with some good adjustments.
I feel like a lot of guys are doing exactly what you said. There's a few that are on a 6, and I've raced a 6, and it actually felt pretty good. But those guys that want to play it safe coming off the turns, they're going to go with the 4 or 5. So we'll see how they react to that. The first part of the run, though, for those that are on the 4, it might be pretty tight for them. I know a few that were having some issues being tight in the middle, and it can really affect you, especially when there's so much traffic around. And for those of you that have raced here and you've raced side by side, you have to have your car perfect. I mean, you got pressure behind you, you have somebody on your side. You gotta be able to make your car do what you need it to do when you need it to do it. So it makes it very interesting for sure.
That's the difference in between our opinions. The car does not have to be perfect at this track. Where it has to be good at is in 3 and 4. You just have to get through 1 and 2 without wrecking yourself or somebody else. 3 and 4, you want to be really good, because that there is a determining factor on how much you're going to be able to carry on that straightaway heading into 1, which is the fastest part of that track in my opinion.
For me, yeah, 3 and 4 is absolutely, it is so much harder to do than turns 1 and 2. You have to really have that braking entry point for 3 and 4. If you nail that, you're good. You're going to get that great starting coming off of that turn going on to the straightaway. These guys are pitting. It's interesting. So you're going to get that nice run off onto the front stretch there. If you don't, you're losing a lot of time. So it's something that these guys are going to have to watch.
Yeah, so Frozen, I would definitely run a little bit more snugger here, because 1 and 2 likes to be a little bit more freer than 3 and 4, being a little bit more tighter. So I would try to base everything that my car is doing off of 3 and 4, especially since 3 and 4 is your money terms, and that's where you want to be the fastest at, because you want to carry the most speed off of 4 going into 1, because no matter what, you're going to be able to carry that momentum through 1 and 2 and keep up with the rest of the pack or whoever you're trying to follow in line with.
Oh, absolutely. I want to give a quick shout out to those guys in chat. We have Mr. Sly Job. We have Kool-Aid out there. He says, I'd run a 4 or a 5 here. And he was actually running practice with us earlier. So fun to see him out there. But yeah, I mean, it seems like a lot of guys are on the same boat here as far as what they're gonna run. But qualifying seems to be over. These guys have to waste a couple of laps, and they're gonna be playing as they go around. But this race should get started here. 184 laps. Hold on to your belts. It's going to be a crazy ride. I mean, I can tell you, the first practice tonight, we've seen it so many times. It's going to make it. We're going to have some awards element. I don't know that I've told you this, but we're going to have awards at the end of the season. I've already been working on it. So I'm pretty excited to let these drivers know. We're going to have votes for them that they'll vote on, but some of it will be with the officials. But the last several races, we've had a wreck in turn 1, lap 1. Now that's what happened tonight in practice. So hopefully we get that out of their system in practice. But, you know, the way this track goes, I would not be surprised if we saw that here tonight.
Well, now that I'm just finding out about these awards, like, what? I've been gone this long?
I know, it's crazy.
Oh, hell, that's just gonna amp it up for everybody, you know. And that's gonna make the pay window a lot bigger.
I mean, it's not like trophies. It's not trophies, so let's not get ahead of ourselves. But it's going to be like what we did for the IndyCar last season. It's going to be just awards to show appreciation for what these guys accomplished this season. But hopefully trophies will be in the future. I'm really hoping. We'll see what happens with it, though.
I don't know. You know, maybe I might be feeling a little bit giving. You know, I'm feeling like maybe donating a little bit to the cause on the championship winner for bidding on something on Pristine Auction, getting some autograph for him, you know.
That would be awesome. That'd be really cool.
You know what? I'm gonna say that out right now. Like, whoever wins championship, I'm gonna buy him something off of Pristine Auction. I'm gonna bid on something. I'm gonna get him some autograph, their favorite driver, and I'm gonna try and get him something a little nice for him.
Well, that's awesome. You guys heard it right there. We'll see who wins the championship. I mean, Rangers has been on it, and after tonight, we haven't even brought that up. I mean, so much is on the line right now. After tonight, the playoffs begin, and those guys who have won the races, who have won stages, they're going to carry those playoff points over, and it's really going to give them a padding heading into the playoffs. And Rangers, he's got a lot of points added up. Tom, he's got some points added up. So a lot of these guys are going to have a bit of an advantage since they did so well during the regular season. I want to give a shout out to Rock. Thank you so much for being in the booth and everything you do. And for the Cheers 200. That is insane. Thank you. You are awesome. Aries, yeah, I know, the bot. Oh my gosh. Crazy. But qualifying is over. Let's see who got pole. I just saw it and it slipped away. Where'd it go?
I backed out.
You backed out. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
All right, our pole sitter tonight is Tom Flitty. We have Fluffy on the outside with Rangers behind on the second row and third. And we have Combat Beast in fourth. So, yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. We have Myth. He says, wish them good luck. Thank you so much. And thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it.
Well, I'm just hoping for a heated battle tonight. That's what I want. I want to see some, not tempers, but I want to see some flash and flare like Ric Flair. Woo! You know?
Now, let me ask you something. You really think that there's not going to be a battle flaring up here tonight? It is Darlington. It is the last race before playoffs. There is a lot on the line, and there's a lot of guys that are super close in points. And since we're talking about that, if my mouse will work over here. There we go. Let's bring up the points. The top 12 in points will move on in the playoffs. You can see how close it is here. So let's go over this. So the top 12 so far are Rangers, Dohar, Tom Flitty, Leaf Justin, J-Mac in 5th, Sky in 6th, 7th is Wild Wreckneck, 8 is Kyle Fan, Game Mastermind is going to be 9th, with Ski in 10th, Thrills is going to be 11th, and Super NASCAR Fan is 8 above the cutoff and 12th. Right below the cutoff is going to be Scott Hall for life. He is -8 in points. Then we're going to have Honeycutt. He's -13. Combat Beast is right below him, -24 points. So it's going to be close. I'm scared to see what's going to happen tonight. It's going to be exciting. There's going to be a lot of emotions element.
There's going to be emotions. There's always going to be emotions.
Absolutely.
Wow. But I'm very curious to see that battle between Super NASCAR Fan and Scott Hall for life for tonight, because 8-point difference coming into the cutoff race for the top 12. Ooh, that's big news right there.
It
So
is.
Scott Hall for life can sneak his way in. He may be a factor, he may not, but he'll be in that top 12, and that'll give him a fighting chance on making his way on through to possibly making the top 4 here.
Absolutely. And, you know, we saw a couple of new guys in the booth last week. We had Honeycutt, who got a podium finish up there. He was second. We had Wild Reckneck, who got his win last week. We have seven different winners out of 9 races. How crazy is that? I absolutely love it. Oh, gosh.
This is a season for different winners. Oh, we can take it? We can take it?
Did you get it? Okay, yes, take it.
Yeah.
He told me to hold after I took it, but it was good. It was safe.
Okay. But yeah, I was saying, this has been the season for new winners. Like, 7 different winners, you know, 8 races or something. 10 races, something like that. 7 different winners. Oof.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever seen that many winners in that short of races. So really, really cool to see. We might see a new winner again here tonight. It's gonna be crazy though. Either way. But these guys are getting ready to race for 184 laps at Darlington Raceway. The track too tough to tame.
Lady in Black's easy to tame. Said no one ever.
Right? It's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a good one.
She'll sneak up on you and tear you a new one.
I think a lot of these guys are gonna be exhausted. I mean, 184 laps, 2 pit stops per stage, if not more. But here we go. The green flag waves at Darlington Raceway. These guys are on the way around, and we have Tom Flitty, who started us off on pole. You can see the tire glitch is fixed, and Tom, do not wipe it out on that apron.
Are you sure
do it once.
They still look like modifieds.
No, they're good. Did you put in your update?
I'm just kidding.
You're killing me.
Oh, there's 2 cars back there spinning.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, we have Game Mastermind, and who else is that? It looks like possibly Justin that is back here wrecked out. Man, oh man.
I can hear him now in his angry voice. Why did you do that?
I mean, did I not call it? Lap 1, turn 1, and we're all ready.
Big wreck.
What is going on back here? We see a couple of cars that looks like Dohar in the mix. We have the 24 of Combat Beast, who started off in 4th. He has fallen back through the entire track. That is going to bring out a caution at the line. We have Fluffy still in 2nd here, Tom in the lead. And, you know, like I've said, these races have started off with a wreck. Lap 1, turn 1, and tonight obviously is going to be no different.
No, and they'd all be smart to put in their adjustments right now and get their cars handling they want them to handle, because obviously they're not starting off how they want them to handle. So it's a tough break for anybody caught up in that, but this is also a good break for everybody to go down and pit road and make the adjustments, get the cars ready for the rest of the race, for them to where they can actually work on them to just maybe get that little bit of a difference that they need.
Oh, absolutely. I don't think there's going to be anyone that is going to stay out. And a couple of these guys, damage is on. It's 50% race, 3 times wear. So these guys, some of them will have to go in and fix that damage. So I would imagine that all of these guys will be going in to at least get their setups in.
Oh, yeah, if you don't take the first opportunity to get your setup in, well, good luck. That's all I gotta say.
You'll fall back pretty quickly.
Yeah. Oh, got fast.
It's huge here. If you don't do that, I mean, it's a huge disadvantage.
Yeah, and even just with a half a lap to a lap older tires is a huge disadvantage. And I do believe Rangers is looking like he's going to stay out with Wild Reckneck.
What?
Oh my
What?
God, what is going on?
I'm shocked. Rangers wanting that
I'm
position.
questioning this call.
Yeah, this is crazy.
I would go on board with him and watch this. restart. Oh my God.
We're definitely gonna have to keep an eye on those two. I mean, you know how it goes. Tires shouldn't be so much an issue at this point. However, we just talked about getting your adjustments in. That's gonna be a huge thing for them. We'll see how they can handle it on the restart.
At this track, I don't care. You put a half a lap on these tires, I go in and take 4. Screw the track position. Honestly, a half a lap can make a difference at this track, but just because of how this track reacts and how the corners react with the tire, it's just so awkward and weird. It'll throw you off.
It's true. Very true. I'm curious if they're counting on another caution coming out. I'll be honest, because Rangers is usually one that will go in and pit, so he must be expecting another one. Kool-Aid, thank you so much for the cheer. I really appreciate it. Hopefully that will be the one and only caution that we see, but I really don't think so. You know, these turns, it's hard to go too wide. It's hard to start off so close to everybody. These guys are really going to push the envelope tonight, especially with playoffs starting next week.
Made me laugh there. Said one caution.
Like I told the guys earlier, I would not be surprised if we have to bring out the rule where it says if you have so many cautions in a row, we're not going to throw another one. We're going to go at least 2 laps without one. So get your stuff together.
Yeah. I mean, it's not hard here to go caution free. But it's very difficult to pass. The aggressiveness takes hold of you, and you just want to make moves when you shouldn't make moves.
It's how it sometimes goes here. I mean, sometimes you have to shove a nose in when you kind of shouldn't. But Darlington is just so hard to pass, like Element said. You have to make the risky moves sometimes. More than likely, it will pay off. Sometimes it won't.
Yeah, and that's why I've always liked Darlington. It's been one of my favorite tracks, one of my better tracks, I feel. Because you can stick a nose in there, but it's show them that you're there and just be patient and back off, let them have the corner. As long as they know you're there, they know they're going to get past. And it's going to happen sooner than later. It's just about when making that move. You got to time it.
And they are off and running already. Man, oh man, we're on board with Thrills in that 42, and he was below the apron and just holding it fantastically. So great job to him, but right behind him we have a little bit of trouble with a guy into the wall. He stays into the wall not to disrupt anyone else, and everyone is okay so far. But looks like it's already kind of starting to spread out. The big thing here is if you have a one car that wrecks, that's not going to be a caution. It's only going to be a caution if you have a few of them.
Hey, Frozen, I'm watching this battle right here between Scott Hall for Life and Super NASCAR Fan. Our two that are on the bubble right now for that final transfer spot in the top 12. And Scott Hall for Life is leading Super NASCAR Fan coming off turn 4, heading into 1 right now, with Thrills falling in tow, trying to make a move on Super NASCAR Fan. If Thrills can get by him, that is big for Scott Hall for Life.
Oh, Super NASCAR Fan putting the bumper onto up to Scott Hall for Life, drops back a couple of positions. Thrills gets right by him. We have the 13 of Game Mastermind who also gets by him. Super NASCAR Fan is going to lose a couple of spots from that, but he's doing okay.
Yeah, and that is absolutely monumentally, just ginormously huge for Scott Hall for Life right now. Especially if he can finish this stage, get into points, and Super NASCAR Fan doesn't score any points in the stage. That is monumentous, huge.
Absolutely. I mean, every point matters, and those are the guys that are on the cutoff. We need to watch out for Honeycutt also. He's so close, but he needs to make up a lot of points. If he can get stage points, that would be ideal. So we're going to have to see if he can manage to do that tonight, because it's ever so important here.
Where's some Honeycutt fans at? We ain't seen you yet. Come on out.
I'm on board with Scott Hall for Life. He got into the wall and stayed there, you know, so he didn't hurt the other cars, but he has now lost a couple of positions. Rye Bread has passed him. Super NASCAR Fan has passed him. These guys just keep doing musical cars out here. It's absolutely insane.
That was a big mistake on his part. He just needs to collect himself, gather back up, and just stay steady and try to make that back up, because that let Super NASCAR fan back on by him. So now Super is back in the positive on making that transfer spot.
Absolutely. Speaking of Honeycutt out here, he's in that 51 car.
Oh, Dohart spot.
Oh,
No,
let's
it's
take a
Dohart.
look. We have a couple
Sorry.
of cars collected. We looked back and saw that. Man, oh
couple.
man.
That's a yellow.
That is going to be a yellow.
Whoa. I collected. Good portion of them. Justin was in it. Oh, my. Oh.
Yeah, these guys will race back
goodness.
to the line, and a caution will be out. Our second caution of the night. Man, oh man, 184 laps. We're only on stage 1. We've already had 2 cautions. This one involves Dohar and a few others, so it's going to be definitely a long one.
I saw Dohar, Kyle Fan, and Justin in there, and I know there's a couple others. But what I noticed after that wreck was the man with the plan that came out with no damage. Gary from Canada. Super clean, car looks good. Woo! The 77 may sneak up on him tonight. You don't know. You don't know.
You never know. I was racing with him earlier. You know, he is not the most confident here, but we got faith in him. Let's do it, Gary. You got this.
Well, sometimes you got to take that right foot, shove it up there, and give them that confidence that they need.
Absolutely. You know, and he's one of those guys that will pull over if somebody is faster than him. He doesn't want to mess up the race, so he's going to pull over and let them by. And last week, you know, Scott Hall for Life, he was like, you know what, Gary? Race us. Don't give it up. He's like, I just want to yell at you sometime. Race me. Don't give it up. I want to see you do good. So let's do it, Gary. You got this.
Hey, I'll give it to him. Gary lives up to his name. Gary from Canada, being way too damn nice.
Those Canadians are so nice.
They really are. Cheeky fellas.
Let's see if we can take a look at Dohar. And we know that he was involved, so you know he will be going in to fix that damage.
Ooh.
I don't think we're going to see a Ranger stay out this time. What do you think? Yeah, he's already in.
He's on. He's on.
Yeah.
I just got on with Game Mastermind, and his car is just beat from nose to tail.
He's seen better days.
Ooh.
That's for sure.
About that.
We're on board with Dohar, and that hood has seen better days. Speaking of that, but he'll get that repaired, get some more adjustments in if needed, and we'll get him back out on track. Look at these cars on pit road. Oh my gosh.
Well, they didn't fix that now, did they?
Well, that's like the scrambler right there.
Oh.
You see Honeycutt already off, and he is going to be entering the track. He looks like he's going to be one of the first ones off on track. You see Tom Flitty. You see, who is that up there? That is Fluffy in the 16. Honeycutt pulling some strategy up there, making his way up through the field. He's going to be in 4th. He'll be starting on the outside.
Well, I got to give him props. It's not a move I would made, but got some cojones. Give him that.
You know, and last week's race was so crazy, the finish. We didn't even know who was where. And it ended up coming up that Honeycutt got 2nd place when we didn't even think he was in the contention to be in the top 5. We saw him back there. We saw him with lag. And all of a sudden, they're like, Honeycutt finished in 2nd. It was so. Don't count him out. That's all I'm saying.
Nope. Oh no, can never count anybody out, especially this track.
Yes. That is for sure. Still in stage 1. It's going to be a long one. We've said that a few times. Hopefully I can get, we'll try to get a lap count here soon to see what lap we're on. We're going to be on board with Honeycutt under this restart here. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. It's going to be a fun, crazy race. You can see a couple of new paint schemes out here. These guys should go green once we are around the turn. If you guys are in chat, let me know who you think the winner is. If you can, share the stream. Let your friends know that it's on, and get them in here.
I need another invite.
Are you okay over there?
I need an invite. I pressed the wrong button.
Yeah. Why do you keep doing that? I swear.
I had a spill over here, and I'm trying to clean it up.
Oh my gosh, man.
Sorry.
We have 40 laps to go in stage 1. Thank you, Rock NASCAR. I appreciate it. Looks like we will be going around one more time. Hopefully go green this time around. As soon as I think one thing, these guys prove another.
I know, I'm sorry. I just can't help spilling stuff around me.
Do you need a bib? I can get you one.
Possibly. Can it be an SnB one?
I'll make you an SnB bib. How's that sound? Alright, we're on board with Monster Mike and that 37. You see the restart box up here, and we should get ready to go green, and off we go. We're gonna find out how these guys take through turn 1 on the first lap of the restart. Dion, what's up? A lot of these guys are going under the yellow or under the line here. Monster Mike taking it way down low, letting a lot of guys pass him up. You see Dohar going under 3 wide directly ahead of him. That's a sight to see if you're Justin in that 9 car.
That's a sight. That's a sight you don't want to see. You don't want to see 3 wide. Track's so narrow you can barely go 2 wide. No.
I'll tell you what, I can go 2 wide through turn 1 and 2, no problem. But you try to take me 2 wide through 3 and 4, I'm most likely braking earlier and just, hey, you take it, and I'll help you make a mistake, and I'll catch up with you again.
Oh my god, you're so awkward. 3 and 4 is the easier one to go side by side.
Super NASCAR fan. We saw him do a 360, still kept moving. Nobody else was affected by that. As Game Mastermind, we have Justin and Dohar take it 3 wide, trying to maneuver past that car. Crazy out here.
Well, what I was saying was 3 and 4 is easier to go side by side in than 1 and 2.
What?
2 gets so tight. Yes.
No.
2 gets so tight, and then you get loose, and then you might have the glitch. You don't know.
You crack me up. I swear, you and I are literally the opposites at every track. I'm like, I love the bottom. You're like, I love the high side. It's funny. But yeah,
hey,
1 and 2,
let me
easy
tell you about
peasy.
that high side, though. You know about that high side now.
I mean, there's some tracks where, yes, Vegas though, I love riding the line. It's just amazing through there. I don't know what it is. I can't help it.
I love hearing, where did you come from?
Oh, who is behind the 8 of Tom Tom? He got a little loose, managed to save it, but man, that was a close call. And these cameras won't let me see who it is. Let's see if we can take a look. We have Fluffy in 3rd, and it is a car directly in front of him, but these guys are going to torture me with it.
I don't know, you saw that, and I saw a wild wreckneck at the same time at the wall coming out of 2.
That's
which
Rangers.
let the 14 on me.
Yeah?
which let the 14 on the inside of him. But he slipped right back up by him after about a half a lap or so. Oh, 14 gets loose coming off too.
I saw that. We look back from the 11 of Rangers. Our top 3 is Tom Tom, Rangers, and Fluffy. And that number 16, these guys have left quite a gap between them and the pack behind them, but you can see a lot of guys getting pretty loose coming off of turn 2. If you guys know about it, there is a bump out there, a little glitch, that when you hit it, it will throw your car down to the inside of the track. And it can be very scary as a driver, and even more scary as the person around them. Oh, Oh, the 12. He is going side by side with Honeycutt. Hits the wall. What is going on back here? Let's see if we can take a look and try to catch up with these guys.
The 12. Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Just
quite
saw
a
Super
battle.
NASCAR fan hit the wall on a straightaway. What?
I don't know. I don't know. It's crazy.
He's so loose.
A lot of these guys are. It is something that they're going to have to go in and fix when they can. I mean, there's plenty of racing left in stage 1 even, so there's plenty of time to catch back up. But you have to have control of that car. You have to know. Everyone knows when to expect that bump, but it can catch you by surprise.
Wow, J-Mac got forced in the wall going into 1 and 2, and they were side by side, and a couple cars got by him, and then underneath him, Game Mastermind, the third team, was trying to go underneath him, and it looked like he might have caught a little bit of apron and just completely spun right around.
Oh, geez. Yeah, you can see the damage on his hood. Looks like Thrill's coming back on the track. Caution is going to be out at the line as J-Mac is trying to make his way past the 42. I'm hearing that there is lag issues for the 51 of Honeycutt, so he might get sent to the back if it is bad enough. We're going to have to find out.
Is that caution number 1 by him?
Caution number 1 by who?
Honeycutt.
I don't even know who was involved in that.
I don't either. I just saw a Game Mastermind spin, and next thing I know, a caution comes out, so I'm totally unaware of.
If anything is known, Darlington is crazy. Expect the unexpected. This is already our 3rd caution tonight, so last time I heard we had 40 laps to go. I'm assuming we probably have around 30. These guys can get anywhere from 23 to 25. It's going to be tight, but I guarantee that these guys are going to go in again.
Well, they're about to hit pit road, and I believe everybody's going to go on.
I would imagine. Hope we can get a lap count once again to see how many laps we have left in stage 1. But if you guys in chat, let me know who you think might win this stage. We have Tom Tom out front. We have Rangers in 2nd. Fluffy was in 3rd. And they had, quite the power with those 3. They left a gap between them and the group behind them. So we'll see what happens on this restart.
And let me tell you about this AI going on the pit road. This is not my drinking. This AI is just god-awful. Like, what?
Oh my gosh. I'm here with the radio that once we go back to green racing, it's going to be around 27 to go, and that is just short of what these guys can get. So that plays a little bit of strategy. Will we see some guys try to save? Will they hold back so that they can grab those stage points? Or are we going to see these guys short pit?
I want them to hold back. I want them to finish the stage. I want to get to stage 2. Let's see what that has to offer.
Let's see what they can do.
I know, because we're old. We're like...
You're old. You're older than me. Don't age me.
We're bringing this up now. Come on.
Don't make me call out your birthday, sir.
No, you better calm down with that. Right?
We're on board with Dohar in that 88. He looks to be 8th place at the moment, top 10. As you can see, he's got the 47 of Wild Wreckneck. He won his first race last week. Wasn't that Pocono? Pocono was an absolutely crazy race. I think it was. I'll have to go back and check, but these guys are back to green once again. 27 to go. We have the 12. That is Scott Hall for life. He is also in the top 10. A guy just on the points, the cutoff here, so he really needs to do well and hopefully grab some stage points.
Yeah, I'm back here riding with Honeycutt right now, and he held back on the restart. Smart on his part. Snuck by a 37. 37 still not too comfortable right now with his car. Which, for Honeycutt, this is a good play. Just let them race. Let a lot of guys make mistakes. Pick up a couple spots here and there. Just see how your car handles.
Well, I think if he's lagging, which on my screen he is, he might have been told to go to the back, and so he might be hanging back just due to lag reasons.
Yeah. Even if he is lagging, just doing what he's doing, just riding and just picking them off one by one while they're making mistakes and stuff. That is so beneficial for him. He just let the 32, 37 go by, so he's still having issues.
He is still having issues. However, you know, like you said, he may be holding back. The 37 of Monster Mike getting super loose coming off of that corner. It's just gonna be the story of the night, I'm telling ya. But nice recovery by him. Luckily, no one was around him. That's the unfortunate thing. If you're side by side with somebody and you get loose, you guys are gonzo.
If you're side by side and you get loose, yeah, yeah, you're
it's not
done.
gonna end well.
Yeah. That's why I would run a tighter car here and loosen it up as I go. And that it's contradictory to where I would usually run a looser car and tighten it up. But here it's actually better to run a tighter car and loosen it up as you go.
I kind of feel for me that's the way I run every track. Run it a little bit tighter, loosen it up as you go, because it's easier for me, at least, to loosen it up than the other way around. Some guys, they feel the way you feel. Loosen it up as you go. Or I mean, tighten it up as you go.
Well, that's why I always ran a 9 everywhere.
You're insane.
Stage, run a top 5 in the first stage and then tighten it up. Throw a little bit of air pressure in it, a little bit of wedge, just a smidge, and that thing would be a rocket ship the rest of the race. Come on.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but come on, you know. Yeah.
You're insane. 22 to
Yeah.
go in stage 1. We have Tom Flitty out in the lead. We have the 16 of Fluffy in second, and man, oh man, he is putting the pressure on Tom Flitty. Rangers in third, and what are you seeing with Justin?
Justin making an unusual mistake. Overdrove 3 and 4, smacked the wall, got his Darlington stripe. No, like it hasn't earned a few stripes already, but he earned another.
I think we've had a few earn that stripe. Absolutely. Irishman, what's up? Hope you're doing good out there.
Oh, it's just changed. The Honeycutt and not super, but Monster Mike and Honeycutt off turn 4. There's just some conundrum going on with those two.
What happened? Did they hit each other, or did they both get loose?
I don't know. When I got onto it, I saw Monster Mike was spinning in front of Honeycutt, and Honeycutt was spinning the other way.
Quite the battle brewing up here. The 13 into the wall, but man, oh man, some tight racing. We have the 2-car of Super NASCAR fan directly in front of Game Mastermind. In that 13, he's also got, let's take a look, the 42 of Thrills. These guys like 2 and 3, looks like almost 4 wide, like going way under Dohar, way underneath there. Very tight.
That's because of the caution.
The caution is out, yes, so they're they're giving room. Okay then.
I just had to point that out.
Yeah, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Oh
I mean,
my
because
gosh.
you're not gonna hold those speeds on the apron, especially that low.
I was gonna say, these guys are getting a little crazy out here. Like, they're going to the inside wall. Mom Jay, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it.
Man.
All right, let's give a countdown of our top guys here. We have Tom Flitty. We have 16 of Fluffy in second. We have Rangers in third. Combat Beast, take a look at this. He started in fourth. He's currently in fourth, so great news for him. Skibowski in that 96, having a great run in the top 5. Let's see if we can find out who is behind him. That is the 12 of Scott Hall for life. Fantastic run for these guys so far.
Scott Hall's doing what he needs to do, and he is running the perfect race that he needs to run or where he is points-wise. Finish ahead of Super NASCAR fan. That's all you can do. Finish ahead of him and let the cards do the rest.
Absolutely. Rough night so far for Honeycutt. It's been a little laggy for him. He needs those stage points, though. He has to beat out Scott Hall for life and Super NASCAR fan, if I'm not mistaken. So he needs all the points he can get.
He needs all the points he can get, but even if he doesn't manage that, go all out after this. Finish the year with a win or two.
Oh, absolutely.
Or at least getting those top fives and competing for those wins. Because that there on presets is a big confidence booster, and that'll definitely help him in the future.
Absolutely. I mean, I spoke to him earlier, and he said, you know, even if I don't make the playoff 12, I'm still going to go for the wins. I mean, why not? Let's do it. We're going to finish the season strong, and I absolutely agree. If you're gonna be on track, you gotta go for the wins. There's no point in being out there if you're just gonna stay around the back. You gotta go for it. Oh, the 14 and the 88. Man, the AI just make it look nutty out there.
I hate the AI. AI. Gross.
Let's get up to the front of the field here. Tom Flitty just strong showing the entire night out here. He's in that 8 car with Fluffy on the outside in second. Rangers in third. We have Combat Beast in fourth. 42 of Thrills in fifth. And we have Scott Hall for life out there in the 12 car in sixth.
I don't know, but Tom Flitty has been showing a lot of power tonight. It just so happens that Cat Power is his sponsor.
Right?
So is there a little bit of coincidence going on here?
These guys are back to green. I'll tell you what, Tom had a lot of confidence going into this race. He's like, I need to do a little bit better in these races. And Fluffy already takes over the lead. Tom got super low, held on to it, but that allowed Fluffy to go ahead and take the lead at the moment. He's got a little bit of a gap as these guys are battling side by side between Combat and Tom Flitty. They finally go single file, and they are single file all the way back.
Single file may not be that bad at this point, as we're nearing the end of stage 1, so there's that. And Fluffy is loving where he's sitting right now. He's got a little bit of a gap between him and Tom, so he can just hit his marks and just haul ass.
Absolutely. 15 to go in stage 1. That takes out the strategy. These guys should be good to go to the end of stage 1. You gotta have the speed now. This is where you have to show what you have. You have to make the moves, but you gotta be clean about it because you don't want to bring out a caution and have to redo the whole thing. So these guys really have to be able to get all the positions that they can.
Yeah, and the thing about making the move is you need to make the move at the right time. Because if you're this close together like you are right now, running pretty much single file, and you got maybe a nose length in between y'all, you gotta make the move at the right time so that way you don't lose a chunk or two racing side by side and allowing the guy behind you to make a move on you as well.
Absolutely. I want to talk about the points again. You guys see it right there. They will get reset next week. And for those guys that do have playoff points, that will carry over for them. Rangers, he's going to carry over 11 points. That's huge. I mean, that's a great padding for him to go into the playoffs. Dohar, he's going to carry 8 over. Tom Flitty, who is super strong tonight, he's going to carry 7. With Justin, he's going to bring over 6. J-Mac is going to bring over 4. Sky, who's got a win, he's going to bring over 4 also. Wild Reckneck, he's going to bring over 3. So those are the top guys. Kyle Fan is in 8th. Game Mastermind in 9th. Ski in 10th. Thrills in 11th. And we've talked about Super NASCAR Fan and Scott Hall for life. Those guys are right on the cutoff. Super NASCAR Fan is 8 points above cutoff, with Scott Hall on the opposite of that with 8 below.
Which I do believe that trend has changed in between our bubble drivers, between Scott Hall and Super NASCAR Fan. Currently, there's a lot of commotion is going on back behind the top 3 that has separated themselves from the rest of the pack.
Yes.
There's a little bit going on there, but we got a great battle going on up here in the front between Fluffy and Tom Tom and Rangers, and they're nose to tail. And I feel like earlier in the run, if Tom would have just paid a little bit more patience instead of running side by side with 24, he'd have a little bit more run at the 17 right now. Not have to waste as much tire. And that's the thing, is like you make it too early, get side by side, you get racy, it allows another guy to race you. You got to race them a little bit harder, use yourself up a little bit more. So you have to really think about that as well.
Absolutely. And yet another caution is out for stage 1. We had 10 to go, so we're in the single digits at this point. But yeah, man, quite the battle. The top 3 were really working well together, and they were able to get away from the rest of the field. The 37, I do believe I just saw, and it looks like he may have left the race. I'm not sure if that was did I say 33? I meant 37. I'm not even sure what I said at this point, but Fluffy is your current leader, and yeah, I think some of these guys might go into pit, but I think we're gonna see some guys stay out.
I think if you see somebody stay out, you might be smoking a little bit of crack there. You go in to get 4 tires. That was a long run on new tires.
It was. It was. We pitted. They pit. Yeah, there's no one. It can't be that long though, because I think it was yeah, blown motor from Mike. Yeah, that was a 37. He is out for the night. Unfortunate to see. He will not be moving on in the playoffs. He will not be the top 12.
Michael!
I know.
Well, anyways.
Are you okay?
No, I'm not okay, because it's just, you get 2 laps on these tires, you need to pit. I don't care. You stay out on 2-lap old tires, good riddance to your race. I don't care if you have 5 cars behind you. The car that's sitting at 6 with 4 fresh ones is gonna whoop your ass.
You know, there's some strategy being played here. We have Natterdays of the 14. He's gonna lead us off to green. The 16 of Fluffy is on the outside. We're gonna see. You know, man, we've seen the strategy played before. It did not end up well. We'll see what happens now.
4 tires and fuel. Larry Mac Reynolds up here. Come on.
We have more than a cape out there. Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate it. Crazy race so far. I do believe we're on like caution maybe 5. These guys are off to green once again. Natterdays leading us off, and Fluffy has already passed him, along with the 8 of Tom Tom. He's gonna try to hang in there for 3rd, but he's just gonna simply keep falling back. And these guys are already slowing down, so I'm not quite sure what happened, but I'm gonna say a little incident for the restart here.
There had to be an incident. I didn't see it.
I don't know. I'm thinking a missed restart. I don't know, but caution's still out.
I feel like the 14 really botched the strategy on that one. Not trying to be hard or cruel, that's just the truth of it.
I mean, we'll find out. We saw him that first restart. He did lose a couple of positions, and we already have a car wrecked out, and I do believe that was the 9 of Justin. Let me take a look. Looks like it was the 9. He is not having a good night tonight. Really unfortunate to see for him.
My God. Justin wrecked. 14. 14 got loose with the wall, got down into the
42 is wrecked out.
Yep. 47 is wrecked out, or no, it's not 14. 47. 14 is still on the apron right now, and 1 and 2. He's slowing, letting everybody by.
You know, that's the bad thing about starting up front. If you do not have the tires, the fresh tires that you need, and you're unsure of how your car is going to react, stuff like that can happen where you stack everything up and mistakes happen.
That's why I always say at this track, Darlington, you always take 4 in fuel. Don't care if you got 1 lap, half a lap on your tires. You always do it. It's just better to be safe than sorry. It doesn't matter if you lose a little bit of track position, you'll get it back in just a couple laps or so.
You know, the top 3 are already off and running. We've seen it the entire night tonight. As we have about 3 to go, I'm gonna say. 3 laps to go, yeah, what I'm hearing. But
Tom's
man,
making
oh man.
a move right now.
Yeah, look at these guys. We have Tom Fluffy. Fluffy hits the wall, comes down. These guys are making some contact as they're going through the turn. Tom on the apron, and he loses it. Oh no, man, this is this is insane. Fluffy is going to take over the lead. Rangers in second. I'm not sure that it was only Tom, so there may not be a caution, guys. Absolutely devastating for Tom.
Yeah, hard points hit right there. That left the door open there for Rangers. Rangers did not capitalize on that, but he still got himself in a decent position to make a move and possibly take the stage 1 win right now.
Yeah, that's going to be huge for him, but, you know, he just joined us, so he's not going to be able to make it into the playoffs unless he's got to race 5 races at least, so he's not going to be able to do that. However, Rangers, he's going to get 2nd place 4 stage points, which is going to be huge for him. It's going to be even more points padding for him.
Yeah, Rangers looking like the stud right now going into the playoffs. He is the horse you want to bet on at the Kentucky Derby. If you bet against him, you're going to lose everything right now. And
absolutely.
He's just been amazing right now.
Fluffy takes stage 1. We're going to have Rangers in 2nd. And is that Ski in 3rd? Let me take a look here. Oh, sorry for the camera angle. It's going to make you sick there. Yeah, that is Ski in 3rd. Excellent job for these guys. You see Dohar in the back there, but man, stage 1 absolutely insane. We're not even half over, guys. 184 laps for tonight's race. Absolutely insane. You see Ski with a lot of damage on the hood of the car. There are not a lot of clean cars out there right now, Element.
No. It's been a lot of mischief going out there right now.
I think so. And Thrills, I'm telling you, just no luck with him. I always see him involved in something through no fault of his own. It's just craziness to me. Tom starting in the way back. I mean, let's hang out here. We have the 77 of Gary letting everyone go by. 8 is side by side with the 47 of Wild Wreckneck. We have the 9 car of Leaf Justin directly ahead of him, and he has not had a great night just yet. But look at these guys bouncing off each other. We have Natter Days. We have the 32 of Rye Bread. A couple of guys getting loose up towards the front. Everyone's holding on to it so far.
Yeah, everybody's holding on to it, and it's just about hanging on for dear life. Like, how much do you want to hang on to your car at this point?
I gotta talk about Ski, though. Look how great he's doing tonight. I mean, this is a tough track out here. He is new to presets. And as soon as I say that, he is just hitting the wall and just all over the place. There are cars. Man, I think I just jinxed him on that one. I'm sorry, Ski. He was doing super great before that.
It wasn't Ski. There was some stuff going on back here.
Oh, I know.
Rybrad either got spun or spun around himself. I'm not sure. And it just happened right in front of Tom. Tom had nowhere to go, and I believe he's got quite a bit of front-end damage happening with him right now. And Wild Wreckneck's right behind him. I don't know if he got it or not.
Chief is out there. He's got the 8 emote out there. Yeah, Tom has been looking great so far. Ski going in to fix some damage. You see a taker for pit road here. Tom, he's had a great car all night. However, the end of the last stage, he got under the apron and spun out, but it looks like another caution has come out pretty early here in stage 2. Last stage, we had about 5 cautions.
Yeah, 5 too many?
I think we're gonna set a record tonight. I don't know about you, but yeah, I think we're gonna set a record tonight.
Well, it is Darlington, so I mean, not surprised, also not, surprised.
You know, you have 19 guys out on track at a track like Darlington. There's going to be some issues. I mean, we have track exits. Look at the 20 of Kyle fan out there.
That's why I was Scooby-Dooing right now.
Oh.
Really? Yeah.
Some strategy. What have we learned? Would you do this, though? You've talked about all night. You're taking 4 tires. Would you have stayed out if you were Kyle?
No.
Yeah, it makes me worried for him. We saw it with Natterdays. It did not work out for Natterdays. We'll see. Cape, what are you talking about? Troublemaker over there. Kyle looking all lonely here on the backstretch as these guys are trying to come back from pit road. He's got a fast car here. However, he does not have fresh tires. He's going to have an entire field that has fresh tires over him. So, he's just going to have to try to hold on to it.
Yeah, he's going to be holding on pretty pretty hard.
What element?
Sorry.
I need a bleep button for you.
I'm just saying. Why? Sorry, it gets me a little rattled.
We have the 24 of Combat Beast, who is going to start on the outside of the 20 of Kyle Fan. We have, looks like Fluffy is going to be in 4th. Tom, is that Tom out there? Yeah, he's going to be right behind our leader, Kyle Fan. He's going to be in 3rd for Tom. I know, language, right?
Just, I understand tire strategy, but at this track, 4 and fuel!
You gotta do it. You gotta do it. Put on those fresh tires. This track is too crazy. All right, good luck to you, Kyle Fan. You got this. We're gonna go green this time around. I'm assuming you can see everyone lined up here. Gonna be a long night. Dion. Green this time by is what I'm hearing over the radio. Llama Leaf on the win. That is the longest name ever. Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. These guys are going back to green in stage 2. Kyle Fan did not take any tires, with the rest of the field taking tires. He's going to lead us around. We're going to see how he does.
Hopefully better than most. Because I would have went and took 4 tires.
48 laps in stage 2. Remember, these guys get anywhere from 23 to 25, and Tom already getting pretty anxious trying to get around him. Kyle Fan is going to hang up on the outside with Tom on the inside. Can he get away?
Pushed it hard.
He did push it hard.
Pushed it hard.
So close to that wall. Coming off the turn, Kyle gets on that glitch right there. They are 3 wide going into turn 3. They managed to bring it down to turn 2 wide. But Tom Flitty is going to be back to the lead with Dohar in 2nd, Fluffy in 3rd, Kyle Fan in 4th. And he's got the 24 of Combat Beast directly behind him.
I don't think staying out was the call there. Coming in and getting the tires, definitely the right call. Tom took advantage of that. He had the grip there, 1 and 2. Kyle did it, and he almost took a good portion of the field with him, but he did an amazing job saving that car. His rest of the field doing a great job working his way around. Oh, Tom just smacked the wall.
Chaos up at the front. You see these guys taking it down low to try to get around Tom, who did, as Element said, smack the wall. Let's take a look and see if we can see who is in the lead. Combat Beast going down low, the 24. Thrill sticking it to Ski in the turn. Man, oh man, that is some contact right there, and a huge pile up in the back. A few of these guys involved. That is definitely going to bring out the caution.
Yeah, Combat Beast and Natterdays were both involved in that. I believe there was a couple more, did not catch them. So there's just a lot of action going coming off turn 2. I'm gonna ride in the back of the pack for the rest of the race.
You can see it there on the replay, just absolute chaos and mayhem in the back of the field. Collected around 4 or 5 drivers. I'm not sure how many were involved, but it looks like J-Mac might have been involved. Let's take a look. I know Honeycutt was involved. Let's take a look at the back of the field. Super NASCAR fan. Ooh. Yeah, a few of these guys, possibly Rye Bread, the 77. Man, tough night for these guys.
Tough night for the whole field, I'd say at this point. They've had a rough one.
We knew it was going to be a rough one. I mean, we've talked about it. There's so many emotions going into this race. It's the race before the playoffs. It's a tough track. You have this many cars out here. You're asking for it.
I don't know if any of these guys are asking for it. It's just the lady in black. She just does that too. She takes hold, grabs you, and just tosses you around.
I'm hearing over the radio, we are a third of the way there. It's crazy. 184 laps, and we're on stage 2, guys. We got a whole stage to go, plus the rest of stage 2. So a lot to make up as far as positions go, but there's also a lot to lose.
But there's a lot to win.
There is a lot to win. Like I said, there's a lot of guys going in here with some heavy playoff points. Rangers being the one with the most, who is also our points leader. He's going to have a nice padding for him heading into the playoffs.
And Rangers having that nice padding and being probably the most consistent driver of the entire season. With solid finish after solid finish. He is probably the main competition at this point. He is the strongest competitor. He is the Kevin Harvick of SnB right now.
Yeah, I'd say so.
You're like, I hate that comparison. You're like, I hate that comparison. Why would you do that?
Oh my gosh.
I'm a Harvick fan. Yeah.
Cape, I don't think Fox is out here. I have not seen him all night, so yeah, definitely not here tonight. I know this is one of his favorite tracks. It's a lot of guys' favorite track. Alright, let's try to make it back up to the front of the pack. We have Dohar, who is going to lead us to the green. We have Game Mastermind in second. We have Fluffy in the 16 is going to start out third. Let me take a look. We have Tom Flitty in fourth.
It's about to get real interesting now that everybody's on the same page on tires.
It most certainly is. Dohar having a nice little lead there. Fluffy on the inside, and he has been strong the entire night here, leading a good portion of the race. We're going to see, but Game Mastermind immediately falling back. That's going to lead Dohar to, it's going to put Dohar to the lead with Fluffy in second, Game Mastermind in third. Let's take a look who's behind him. We have Tom Flitty already knocking on Game Mastermind's door saying, let me on by. I need to get back up here. We have Rangers waving his way as he's going by, along with the 20 of Kyle Fan. Game Mastermind definitely falling back as he was the leader of this race. Start going to green.
Yeah, he's struggling a little bit. And I was just on board with Kyle Fan, watching his restart and everything, how it was going. It was a little rough, a lot of action going on in front of him, and the outside line had actually a really great run on him. He got passed by like 3 guys, and then all of a sudden started making a run back in on the inside, and he's now found his way back up at around 6th spot. So good start for him.
We're headed up on 39 to go in stage 2, so plenty of racing They are going to have to make another stop before stage 2 is over. So still a lot to maintain here. Ski on the move in that 96, putting the pressure all over. Looks like the 47 of Wild Wreckneck. But these guys in a single file line so far. Man, that is a long line out of here. Very daunting if you are in the back, knowing how long this race is.
If I was riding in the back, and I would actually like this spot. Hey, it sounds bad, but it gives you better opportunity to save your tires and be able to make moves a little bit easier because you can plan the moves that you want to make. It's a lot more easier if you're following a couple cars back or whatnot. You'll be able to pick them off one by one.
Yeah, you know, I'm one of those where I want to get up to the front and I want to stay in the front. Sometimes it's not possible, but that's what I'm going to be trying to do. So we'll see what these guys can do out here, but looks like Dohar is doing pretty good. He's so far in 4th at the moment with Rangers directly in front. He's got Tom Flitty in 2nd. Oh, Rangers gets loose coming off that corner, and he's going to take over 4th with Dohar in 3rd. Looks like it's going to be Fluffy in 1st. I'm going to have to make my way up there to make sure, though.
It's looking that way. I believe you do have Fluffy leading right now with Tom, and Toad. Going to be looking to make a move on him.
Yeah, those two have been going back and forth the entire night. Now these two have left 3rd and 4th. So we're going to have to see if those guys can catch back up to the leaders. But the 16 and 8, they have been on it tonight. And I really think it's going to boil down to these guys.
I'm definitely not going to disagree with you on that. They're acting a lot like brother and sister tonight. They're having a big argument about who's going to win. And it's just going to be who's going to be the brother and who's going to be the sister at this point. Like,
oh my gosh.
They're battling.
Oh, Dohar going way underneath. It's just so crazy how loose you get off coming off these turns. But look at these guys. We have 3 packs of 2, and then you got quite a large pack behind those guys. But these guys are really getting separated.
Yeah, the separation is going to come there when you get a little bit more tire wear on the tires, and that's when you're going to see the biggest difference on who is going to be coming and going, you know. And if you have a good long run car, you're set. If you don't, it's a long race.
That's very true. You see Rybread and the 12 of Scott Hall for life. These guys were side by side. Combat Beast making his way by him. A long single filed line, but these guys really getting separated. Rybread, he doesn't want to seem to cause any trouble. He knows he has not raced a lot of races here. He's only done a couple, but Combat Beast putting the bumper to Scott Hall for life. Scott Hall almost gets him to the wall, but he manages to hold on to it and keep it off of that. But man, oh man, you can see a lot of these guys getting loose coming off turn 2.
Yeah, turn. God, Lord,
are you okay?
Have mercy. I'll be all right eventually. But turn 2 is definitely where you get the most loose at because it's your tightest corner. You're carrying a lot of speed through 1, through the center, and then turn 2, you're either going to get really loose or really tight depending on how your car's handling. And it can be both at the same time. You can get loose and tight. Turn 2 is just a real big pain.
We have a nice pack going on here with the 20, and it looks like the 88 and the 11 of Rangers. Trying to catch up to those front 2, but man, oh man, those front 2 are just on a mission. And Trash would like to know, what is going on with you and your comparisons?
Let's just say sometimes an apple is a banana. So.
What?
Exactly my point. Sometimes they don't make sense, but sometimes it just happens.
Dohar getting a little loose there and coming off the turn, gets into the wall. Kyle Fan keeping it low, which at this point, good move on his part, because man, oh man, that was super close. These guys, their tire wear is really being felt now. A lot of these guys getting really loose off the corners, and some of them you have not seen get that loose before, so very interesting. But I want to give a shout out to Worm Rider up in chat. What's up? Hope you are enjoying the race. It's been very caution heavy, I will say, but once they get that all situated out, you see it here, quite separated.
As you were saying about Dohar getting loose off too, at the exact same time, Tom was pulling his usual move of loose off
Oh!
too.
What?
So, yeah.
So sorry.
Oh!
Combat Beast, he was there 1 second, he spun. I didn't catch what exactly happened, but he is now on pit road.
We're about to have a chance for the lead.
I'm getting up there. We got Fluffy, who is in the current lead, but it looks like Tom trying to test the waters there. He's gonna hold back, but man, oh man, these guys have just put quite the gap over that second pack, and those guys are even getting separated, so that is gonna help these front two guys. However, we're gonna see if Tom's gonna fight that.
Oh, Tom got really loose the lap before the Fluffy did. I mean loose. He was down below the white line, everything. He saved it, corrected it, and he was still with a little bit of draft, got right back to the bumper of Fluffy, and coming off to the following lap, Fluffy got loose right in front of Tom. Whoa. Let me tell you, the battle is heated between these two for this lead.
Absolutely, and we still, like I said, we still have a pit stop to go, so anything can happen, but Tom getting loose off of that corner. We've just seen it so much tonight. It's just going to be the story, but man, oh man, what is going on in chat? Woofy How subscribing with Prime. Thank you so much. That is awesome. I really appreciate it. Hope you're enjoying the race. It's crazy out here. It is crazy. I'm glad to be in the booth watching all the action. Let's take a look at Rangers. Normally we see Rangers. He's the one normally leading the race if it's not one of these other guys. But you see the view from him. He's got his eyes on P1 and P2. That is Fluffy and Tom and up there that he sees. But he's got no one around him. He is all by himself. And that is only going to allow, and I see right behind him, there's guys into the wall. That is going to bring out the caution. They will race to the line.
Roseanne.
What? Are you kidding me? What did you do again?
I went to go press X and I pressed start.
What are you doing? Oh my gosh. You can dress him up, but you can't take him out. As soon as he gets in the booth, as soon as you get him in the booth, he just keeps pressing that B button, man. I'm telling you.
No, I went to press X and I pressed start. I hate how it's one stop.
I kind of want to press start. Isn't that like a pause menu?
It's not spectating. It's exit. Literally just straight exit.
It is. I see it. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mistakes were made.
You invite, don't you?
No, I didn't press it because I was too scared.
Oh, okay, yeah.
No. Yeah.
No,
Big F in chat for Element. This guy is a nut tonight. Second time, just tonight even.
Hey, I'm getting loose off too tonight.
You had me all discombobulated. I forgot to put the caution out up on screen there, but the caution is out. I would imagine that these guys will go in. We're pretty much, if I'm not mistaken, I'll have to hear from Rock, but we should be in the window that we don't have to pit anymore. However, with the amount of cautions that have come out tonight, I'm not counting out that we're going to see these guys stay green.
Well, I think me and you are both in the realm that we want them to go green.
I think so. I think these guys are in the realm of they just want to go green. I mean, it's a long race, 184 laps. We've talked about it. It's going to be a long one tonight, and I think these guys just want to move on. Huge race, though. It's the race before playoffs, so everything matters. Points start over, and the top 12 move on to compete for the championship.
The top 12.
A lot counting on this. I mean, you've seen Honeycutt not having a good night so far. Anything can change though, but he really needs the stage points. I mean, there's still a possibility for stage 2. However, these heavy hitters of Rangers, of TomTom, of Fluffy, we've seen them up here time and time again. They're gonna get a lot of stage points. They're gonna help him out next once the playoffs start. Combat, I saw that. I was on you when you retired. What happened to you? You were doing so good too. You hate to see it. You see Rangers coming out. He is currently sitting at P5 with Ski on the outside, and Ski has done so well here tonight. I've done a few practices with him, and yeah, if he can maintain what he's doing now, he will be good to go.
Yeah, Ski has done a great job tonight. Being a custom setup driver, coming over the pre-sides, figuring them out. And now he's at the toughest track. The lady in black, too tough to tame. And he's here riding up front.
I don't know what's going on with these guys, but I would assume they're still under caution. I saw some... It looked like the top 4 guys were just on the move, ready to go, and these guys were not. I hear you, Combat. I hate to see it, though, for you. What a night, though. Combat, how is it out there? And let everyone know what a challenge Darlington is. I mean, most of everybody knows, but man, oh man, it's a tough one tonight.
Oh, Darlington's always tough on presets.
So true. They are green once again in stage 2. Not that many laps to go left at Darlington in stage 2, but man, we already have the 20 of Kyle Fan into the wall. These guys trying to stay away from him. Look at him as he stays in the wall, and everyone just piling around him. So close for these guys, but they managed to hold on to it. Still under green, we have Rangers in P4. We have Game Mastermind in 3rd. Let's take a look. Looks like Fluffy in 1st, TomTom in 2nd. So these guys are still on the move.
Whoa, you still got Ski sitting there in 5th, and then
Yeah,
right
we
behind
do.
him, Thrills. The Thriller.
I'm so scared
Makes
to talk
him
about
move.
Thrills. I feel like I jinx him. We talk about
He
how good
put in
he's
the
doing,
fifth.
and then he gets obliterated.
Oh yeah, Thriller's up there. He's right there in 5th and doing what he needs to do and making it happen.
TomTom
The
around
8.
for the 2nd time tonight.
What?
He was in the lead. That's going to be a huge pileup. Cars are in
Oh.
the air. I'm going to have to bring out a replay on that one. What in the
Well.
world did we just see? You see it on the replay. TomTom going into the turn just gets loose and simply loses it. As he is on the apron, that's going to cause a huge pileup. Caution number, I want to say like 8 here at this point. But you hear Combat, he says you got to slam on the brakes in turn 3, so you don't kill anyone, and you got to keep the momentum. But man, that is crazy.
Oh, Tom, what were you thinking there?
It's just so tough. I mean, this is not a wide track, and when you're going side by side, especially for the lead, you're putting everything on the line, and that's exactly what TomTom did, except he put it on the wrong kind of line here, and he put it on the apron and spun it out, and that was a terrible joke there, but yeah. He's gonna have to try to make his way back up through the field once again. You know, get it? He put everything on the line, like his whole car.
He was on both sides of the line there.
He was, actually. Oh, no.
Oh.
Pits will be open this time by. I would imagine that everyone is going to go in, and this should be their last pit stop of stage 2, and then we have a whole nother stage. Let's see how many laps are going to be in stage 3. If I'm not mistaken, it'll be 67 for the final stage, and that is going to require around 3 pit stops to go. Next week in the playoffs, we're going to start with Indianapolis. It's going to be another crazy race, and then race 12 will be Talladega, which, man, I feel like every race gets crazier than the last, so who knows what's going to happen.
67 laps in the next stage, 3 pit stops. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, work's gonna be so sucky tomorrow.
Good luck to you, sir. Combat says don't have a loose car, and turn 2 is a killer. I usually don't have trouble off of turn 2. Turn 3 is just the worst for me. Just trying to get that entry.
I beg to differ. Couple races we were in, turn 2 was your Achilles heel. Just
mine, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
I think
that is possible.
I think you're a little too loose.
Well, that is also possible. Yes. When I did practice with them, though, I was on a lower preset, and I literally had no trouble with it. It felt good. I liked my car. It was good. It was good. Yeah.
Mrs. I run a 7.
I was actually on a 7 in regular lobbies. That's a little loose, so you have to bring it down. I think I raced a 5, and it felt pretty good. You were on a 2 combat. Good lord, how could you even turn?
Yeah. What? 2? Jesus.
Monster Mike. Yeah, you guys. It's just one of these races, man. Trash says I go to preset 6, adjust my exit angle for 2. Occasionally I get loose, but I need it to rotate better in 3 and 4. 3 and 4 is so daggone tight. Combat says, hope and pray, and I would like to live. Yeah, we've had a couple of blown engines tonight. Trash says, turn 3 you can be aggressive and dive it in there and hope it sticks. I usually let out early. We are back to green, just a handful of laps left in stage 2. But someone said a 3-hour race. Bite your tongue, Combat. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Oh,
come on.
Already getting loose. We have a couple of guys onto the inside wall. They managed to hold on to it. That should not be a caution, but man, oh man, I'm telling you, exit 2 is such a problem turn here. Coming off it, you get that glitch and you are just gonzo.
It's not even the glitch. The going through 1 and 2, you feel so good entering 1, then hitting the center of 2, rolling it, getting out of throttle, getting right back in it. But then all of a sudden you'll start either pushing a little bit or getting really loose, because that push will turn into a loose at the same time. So really you're just always loose off 2.
It's possible, but we have a lead change here as these two were battling it out, and then Rangers looks as if he let Fluffy go. I mean, he knows he's a little bit faster in this race. And we have only 10 to go here in the final part of the stage. So Fluffy is on the move. We have Rangers in second. Gets a little loose off that corner. And you can see a hungry crowd behind him. Single file, but they do have a pack of 4 directly behind him.
Yeah, right behind Rangers after he let Fluffy go. Those two got a little bit of gap behind him. But behind Rangers right now, there's a game of hungry hippos going on. And it's... everybody's fighting for that 3rd spot.
Look at this. We have the 12 of Scott Hall for life. And man, these guys were 2 by 2. We had the 14 taking the 47 wide, and that put the 47 on the apron, and somehow he did not lose that car. Great driving on his end. We have 7 to go, so there's still a little bit more racing. Oh, Natterdays gets a little loose, and Wild Wreck Neck, he loses it. I don't know if that's going to bring out a caution since it's only one car, but it's extremely unfortunate as Natterdays gets loose and makes contact with him. Kyle Fan trying to save it coming off of turn 2. Once again, these guys so tough out here.
Yeah, there's a lot going on mid-pack and beyond. You got cars loose off 2, cars leaning on each other going into 1 and 2 and hitting the center, and they're all over each other from the mid-pack to the back right now, and good battles going on.
And again, third on back, these guys are getting loose, go way under the apron. Man, I'm telling you what, it's just crazy out here. And when you're going too wide and you know your nose to tail, each one of them, it is so hard to try to keep it off each other. You don't want to lose any positions, but you also want to give some space. Such a hard decision for these drivers. You really have to play it safe, yet you have to be aggressive at the same time. How do you do that and take care of coming off a turn 2 the way these guys are doing?
Those are only questions that Einstein could answer himself.
That was pretty deep. Oh, Thrills into the wall, and Tom goes by. I'm not sure if Thrills let him go by, but he did make some contact with that wall. Tom gonna be in P3, and he has tried to fight his way back up to the front after losing it off the apron. Thrills is going to be P4. Game Mastermind looking at the top 5. Looks like we might... Who is that behind him? I'm trying to see. We do have Super NASCAR Fan along with J-Mac. Very tight pack as we are right here. These cars are super close, and Super NASCAR Fan, a little bit of contact with the 42 of Thrills, and Super NASCAR Fan loses it off the turn and hits the inside wall.
Oh, he just didn't lose it. He just went south.
He sure did, and we have 2 laps to go as Fluffy is coming up on soon-to-be lap traffic here. But man, oh man, these guys are going to be exhausted after this race. I have a feeling tempers are going to be flaring.
Oh, they're going to be flaring, but that Super NASCAR Fan getting loose off 2 like that opened the door there for Scott Hall for life. He was struggling a little bit. He's right in the tracks of Doha. That put Scott Hall for life 1 position away from Super NASCAR Fan in stage 2. So that's going to minimize that points damage that he gained on him in stage 1.
Absolutely. And we have a guy getting off of the track up here, gets a little loose off of turn 2, but we have our leader Fluffy coming. So hopefully he's going to move over for him. We should bring Fluffy home as the stage 2 winner here. We have a whole nother stage to go after this.
There's another stage.
I know. Fluffy is your winner though for stage 2. Rangers. Look at this. Looks like, who is that in front of him? Where did Rangers end up?
Top 5. And just for the record, Justin is still in the race.
I see him. I'm looking at him right now. We have Rangers in second, Tom in third, the 42 in fourth. Top 5. I'm trying to see who that was. I believe, is that Super NASCAR Fan? Let's take a look. Nope, that's Game Mastermind. That's gonna be your top 5. Welcome to stage 2 finish right there. Fluffy doing a heck of a job out here. No surprise. But we're going to stage 3 racing, guys. Let's go on board with... Oh, man. We're going to go on board with Tom Flitty. We have 16 of Fluffy going to lead us off with Rangers on the outside. Tom going to be on the inside with the 42 of Thrills directly side by side with him. We'll see how they go. Tom Tom going underneath the apron. You're gonna give me a heart attack.
Oh.
Man, this guy and the aprons.
Oh, I hear a lot of banging and stuff going on behind him. Woo, I don't know what happened.
I mean, it looks like a dominoes. Coming off of 2, just everyone hits that, and they all just dive it down low as they're trying to keep it together.
They're keeping a lot better than I am right now. This old man is getting hit.
Oh, wow, Wreckneck just plowed it into the 51 of Honeycutt. We have, it looks like Dohar just spinning around on the inside. I don't know if that's going to bring out a caution. That is just one car. We'll find out from the officials here. But Wild Wreckneck in that 47 still off and running.
Oh, that's a caution.
That is definitely a caution.
Yeah, I saw somebody go with him. I just wasn't sure who. It looked like a black and gold car, but I know that wasn't the colors.
New leader Tom Tom. Really? As soon as we look away, Tom Tom going out there.
I didn't even catch him to replay.
How many times has Tom Tom had to... He's wrecked out twice on the apron and made his way all the way back through the field to lead the race once again. Just absolutely crazy.
So what he has to do is
stay off the apron.
Yeah. It is
I'm just saying.
No apron, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, hit the racing groove. You'll be all right there, fella.
The top 3 have been pretty consistent all night. I mean, it's been the same story. We've had Fluffy, we've had Tom Tom, we've had Rangers, we've had a couple of others visit up here for the lead. But none of them have been able to maintain that.
Yeah, leaders have changed all night long. It's been hard to maintain being a leader, especially when the tire wear kicks in, draft is there. It's really hard being a leader.
Yeah, I mean, you have a lot of cautions going out here and people playing strategies, so it's changing constantly tonight. Combat says, I tried, but I died. I hate to see it, man. I really do. You were doing good. You see Tom Tom staying out, Ranger staying out. So far, it looks like the rest of the field is going in to take some fresh tires. Gonna be an interesting strategy for these two. I know you're a fan of the tires, but we'll see. I'm curious how many we have left and how many they have on these tires right now.
Well, if you have more than 2 laps on the tires, I would say pit.
Yeah, it's still pretty early. However, man, it is so scary in traffic. I mean, just so many guys are trying to fit their car into the same spot, and it's just, you know, it's tough out there. You're gonna get pressure from behind and people missing their braking marks, and just everything piles up pretty quickly, so it's something you really have to watch.
I think you got to watch everything at this track. It happens so quickly.
All right, we're gonna see these guys come back. It looks like Tom Tom decided to take the outside. He's gonna take the outside. I'm thinking to stay away from that apron. He wants to play it safe. I mean, going into turn 1 is gonna be pretty easy on that outside, so I think it's a pretty safe bet going on his side. Ranger's gonna take the inside with 42 of Thrills gonna be on the inside in 3rd, and if I'm not mistaken, I do believe that is the 51 of Honeycutt in 4th. He's gonna be starting us off. Are you singing or are you in pain?
Oh, there's a little bit going on in my head there, and it was more or less the cars I was watching. I'm like, this kind of needs a little bit of a hymn going to, you know what I'm saying?
You did it very well.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. All right, here we go. We're gonna have Tom in that A car on the outside. He's gonna take the lead. Ranger's gonna tuck in behind him. Thrills underneath that apron. These guys just gonna give me a heart attack. Don't do that.
Super NASCAR fan hits the wall of 1 and 2 Scott for life. Makes the pass, puts a couple cars in between them. That is a big points gain right there for him. So Scott for life can make up more points. Whoa.
We see Fluffy, he's out here in P4, but Honeycutt, who started off P4, he is quickly falling back, and it seems he has tucked himself into a nice spot, a little bit of room behind him and in front of him. So Dion says the 51 got a lot of damage. I'm not sure what happened with that, but yeah, I don't know if that's just cosmetic, but you can see it there, a ton of damage. I'm thinking that's cosmetic.
I think a lot of damage is cosmetic at this point.
I'm thinking so. Wild Wreck Neck deep into the field. He's behind Kyle Fan in that 20. These guys, man, coming off the turn, they hold on to it. So close. You see J-Mac in the mix in that 3 car. These guys going too wide. J-Mac on the high side, Kyle Fan on the low side. Just so close with these battles out here. And every time we go around these exits, I'm a nervous wreck for these guys.
The exits are really difficult. You got to get a good run. It's not like you can just send it into the next corner on somebody. You got to get a nice run off the corner, get to the quarter panel, and it's basically like running a Martinsville in a sense. It's like a big Martinsville.
You're not wrong. And just everyone just going for the same position. These guys are so tight going into the turns. We're on board with Rybread in that 32. He is behind Kyle Fan. And you see the 9 of Justin. You see Game Mastermind directly in front of Justin, who gets a little loose. Justin's going to go on the inside and puts on the brakes. That's going to have Kyle Fan go into the back of Justin. 56 to go at the line. Justin falls back a little bit. Rybread gonna go on the outside of him. Quite the battle going throughout the field there, Element.
Oh, there's plenty of battles going on, but the battle that I'm watching is the battle between Scott Hall for Life and Super NASCAR Fan. And Scott Hall for Life has 3 cars between him and Super right now. And that is huge, as he's already gained points on him in the first stage. So he's looking like a solid lock for the top 12 right now if he continue doing what he's doing.
He's got to continue doing that, but man, it is so close, and we've talked about it, as Element said. These guys are right around the cutoff, so any point that you can get is going to matter, and we still have a lot of racing left, so anything can happen. But Scott Hall looking pretty decent out here, been very consistent.
Yeah, being consistent is a game. And when it comes to points battling, that's what we got to do. Get the best finishes possible every single stage. Collect those points. And now, it also comes down to the end of the race. You just can't collect those points and just be like, I'm going to finish last. No. Go get that W.
I couldn't have said it better myself. We're out here with the 96, and he looks to be in P4 right now. Man, you got Tom Flitty directly in front of him, and Ranger's looking like he was making a sign to pit, or I'm not sure if he was just getting loose. We're gonna find out. But, oh, Ski hitting the wall right there, but he has had a pretty solid night so far, and I'm very impressed with how he's driving.
Aaron, I'm telling you, I have been riding with Scott Hall for like this whole run, and he had 3 cars in between him and Super. 1 corner made all the difference. All 3 of them got by him. And he's just 2 cars got loose off corner. He had a nice run. he got the size Natter days, and those two were having at it. And now he's trying to hunt back down Dohar to get around him. That one spot in between him and Super right now is big for how tight the course battle is.
It is, man. I'm telling ya. And it's just one mistake that can really just knock you far back. He's got the 14 of Natter days just putting so much pressure on him right now. He's really got to take that out of his rearview mirror and just say, I need to drive my line. I need to nail everything. And we have a wreck up here. Looks like Game Mastermind. We have the 20. We have Dohar, J-Mac. A lot of guys involved, and that will bring out a caution.
Oh, that took out some players.
Sure did.
Insert big whistle. My whistle was weak.
It was a little weak, but that's okay. 50 to go in stage 3. This is nutty. You know that Rangers and TomTom, they're gonna go in. Their tires are dying right now. Didn't they stay out, or am I just making that up? I know they did at one point.
Well,
don't leave me hanging.
In my defense, I think you're making it up.
Really?
In their defense, they probably stayed out.
You're insane. I swear. Everyone is so far is gonna go in. I can't imagine anyone staying out. We can get 23 to 25 laps on a fuel tank. Tires, that's just the thing that you gotta watch though. So, we still have at least one more stop after this one.
The money stop. Bring it.
I'm telling you. Justin, he's been top 10 a lot tonight, but he's also had a pretty tough race. So a lot of these guys, like I said, tempers will be flaring. We've had a couple of DCs so far. You see a lot of guys coming out right together. That'll be interesting to see who's going to take over those spots. But still a lot of racing left here tonight.
50 laps is an eternity around here, so yes, there's quite a bit more racing to go.
TomTom Flitty and that 8 comes out P2. He will start on the outside of Fluffy and that 16, who will lead us off to the green. 96, look at that. He's going to start P3 with a 42. He's going to be 4th. 11 of Rangers will be 5th with, let me see if I can see who that is. The 32 of Rybread up in the top 6.
Rybread. Top 6.
Yeah, look at this. We are green flag racing once again. Fluffy out there in the lead. TomTom tucking behind. Thrills. I don't want to jinx him. Please knock on some wood. But he is P3 at the moment. If he can stay out of trouble, I'm telling you, I tell you this week after week, we're going to see this guy in the booth after the race. We just got to keep him out of trouble.
I feel that way for a lot of guys.
Right? Yes.
They could just stay out of trouble. They'd be up here.
I know. Thrill sometimes tells me if I didn't have bad luck, I wouldn't have any luck. So let's change that. Tonight is the night, Thrills. Let's do it. These guys single file. You see it right there. Rybread and Ski going. No, it's not Rybread. Ski and somebody else. Let's see if I can get back there and take a look. But they were going side by side. Man, very, very close. Are you okay?
Honeycut. What's Honeycut?
Oh. What's going on with Honeycut?
They were.
Oh.
Ski was getting a little loose off the corner, and I think Honeycut was trying to pass him, and a little weeble wobble happened.
A little weeble wobble, and I think that is some kind of lagging wagon out on track, and that 51 car looking pretty steady right now, but that is the 96 ahead of him of Ski. He looks like he's going to be in P7 at the moment. Hopefully, the lag will hold on. He's got to leave Justin in that 9 car behind him. What are you looking at?
I don't know what happened, but I just saw the 20 just take a dead left in 1 and 2.
I mean, I've seen it a few times in practice tonight. We talked about it
there goes
earlier, and we have J-Mac
What?
and Game Mastermind. Man, oh man, tough night for these guys. J-Mac being involved in a couple of incidents. Not sure what happened there, but the caution is out once again. These guys will race back to the line, though.
I just jumped to that, and it made me feel like I was Jeff Goldblum in Independence Day, just getting tossed around by everything. Jeez.
We're gonna bring these guys under pace for another caution. Oh man, this is something, guys. I'm telling you. Stage 3, I would imagine around 45 to 40 to go. We'll find out from Rock NASCAR, our producer and booth.
Built like a rock.
It's tough, yeah. Talking about it over the radio, you know, it's just one of those tracks that you can't really push it too wide sometimes. You gotta determine when you can make those moves and how safe it's gonna be, because coming off these exits is super tough, especially if you're too wide. So you just have to be able to make your moves and plan them out.
Yeah, I feel like Darlington is more of a road course than it is an oval track, in a weird, oddly sense.
I mean, I catch what you're throwing here. It's so true, because there's just parts of it where you can't make a move like a road course, and it races very challenging. Every time it's going to be something different, and there's something else to look out for.
Yeah, you just can't throw it in there. You can't just make moves whenever. You have to time them, and they have to be timed right. And Darlington is more, in my sense, races a road course than it is an oval, just because of how it's shaped and what it does to the tires.
It absolutely shreds them. I'm curious in real life how many tires they have gone through and what it would have cost, because they are absolutely just going through the tires tonight.
Let's just say our sponsors aren't happy.
I would imagine. I would imagine.
We saw that, Bill. Ah!
You see Tom going on to pit road. Game Mastermind headed to his pit stall. Fluffy in that 16 spin. He's in his. We'll see who makes it off pit road first. It looks like the 12 of Scott Hall for life, doing some strategy there. Thrills in that 42 is going to be on the outside. Tom in third. And we're going to have Fluffy going to start off in P4.
Say your Hail Marys right now for Scott Hall for life. Very brave, but very dumb at the same time.
Don't hold back, Element. Tell us how it is.
Oh, there's no holding back. It's brave, but this is practically race suicide at this point.
We're going green this time by, and I really hope it works out for Scott Hall. I want to see him in the booth. I want to see him do well. He needs to get in the playoffs. He wants to get in the playoffs. Let's do it. Let's bring it home.
Frozen, I don't think he was the only other one. I think Rose also played the same strategy on that.
I'm with you. I agree. You see Tom all over the apron. Oh my goodness, you're going to give me a heart attack. Scott Hall for life so far leading the race right now in stage 3. Let me bring out stage 3 there. 3 wide. Are you guys crazy? Yep. We have Fluffy on the inside, Tom on the middle, 42 on the outside. He's going to take over P2. Tom in third. Fluffy going to fall back. A lot of contact. These guys are going 3 wide again. We have Scott Hall for life going to fall back. We have Thrills to the lead, and everyone is just playing musical cars, Element. This is nutty. Thrills, hold on to it.
Dang it.
Thrills getting loose on that apron, manages to hold on to it, but he loses the lead in the meantime. And that's going to bring, once again, a new leader, Tom Flitty.
Yeah, they are drumming on each other. They think they are the best drummer in the world because they're beating and banging.
Who goes 3 wide? Into the turn at Darlington. These guys are crazy.
I mean, I would.
I would be the one if you were taking me 3 wide. I'd be backing out. I know, just know.
It's the ball. He got his stripe again.
He's still in the lead though, holding on to it, but he's got a Fluffy who is ready to approach and ready to take over that lead. He's got Rye Bread, I do believe, in the 32 directly behind him in P3. He's wanting to make his presence known up here also.
I was gonna say, Tom keeps flirting with the lady there. She's gonna bite real hard, and
she's gonna punch back, and yeah, she's not gonna be too happy.
Yeah, and Fluffy's right there, and Fluffy is doing what he needs to do. But Rye Bread, what?
Right?
Where he's had a rough race, and now he's sitting here in P3.
Yeah.
And he's gonna challenge these boys. Ooh.
He's looking pretty solid, but you see how he got loose, and I'm looking at right behind, and you see them get loose a little bit. The top 3 are getting away from P4 and P5. They are in a group together. You see group 3 behind them in the 3rd pack, but they are getting a little bit separated right now.
There's a little bit of separation. That separation can be made up relatively quickly, so it's not too big of a deal. It's just about getting the track position you need and keeping that momentum up, because each corner is a nice surprise at this track.
So true. You know, it's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. I mean, it's true though.
Okay, Forrest.
You have Rangers in that 11 and P4, and you got, is that Ski behind him again? This guy's just on it tonight. Let's go, Ski, in that 96. He is going to be P5. We might just see him in the booth yet tonight, so we'll find out. But J-Mac, you see him directly behind Wild Wreckneck in that 47. These guys, you see a couple of these guys ahead of him, pretty spread out. No one is crowding each other, but man, a lot of different packs here.
Yeah, you got the top 3 broke away with the next 2 falling in tow. But right behind them, you have Dohar, Thrills, Justin, and Calfan all lined up. Pretty much for the most part, they're right there in tow with each other. So really anybody's game from 1st to about 8th, 9th.
32 laps to go at the line, and you see Thrills in that 42 catching up to Dohar pretty quickly. He's already on his back bumper, and you're going to see Thrills, I guarantee, going to try to make a move on Dohar pretty soon. But again, we have to plan those moves. It is so hard to pass here. You really have to watch what you're doing. Dohar riding right in the middle of the track. He is not going to make it easy for Thrills right now.
Well, you don't want to make it easy for him. You got to make it tough.
Oh, absolutely. I'm like a moving chicane out there. We have K8. I hope I said that right, but thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate it. These guys are having a heck of a race tonight. I'm telling you, we've seen a lot of cautions. I'm not going to lie. This is probably our most caution-filled race of the season, if not of the league, possibly. For what we've seen in 7 seasons, and Super NASCAR fan getting into the wall that's going to allow Game Mastermind catch up to him and pass him. Man, oh man. Let's take a look. We have the 14 trying to make his way by. He's going to, and Super NASCAR fan was not liking it, bouncing off these cars. That's only 1 car right now, so they will remain green. Not the best move by Super there if he was bouncing off those cars, but they managed to get on by.
Lots of bouncing going around right now.
Hey, kind of like a ping pong ball.
And car.
Not what you want to see, and you know Super NASCAR fan has some damage he is going to have to repair. J-Mac got a lot of damage on that hood. He's directly in front of the 47 when we saw them flip-flop before. So that incident with Super NASCAR fan allowed him to pass, if I'm not mistaken. You can see the 9 of Justin up there. No one really around him. I mean, he's got a car in front of him, but he's got a little bit of space between him and these cars around him.
There's a lot of space between a lot of cars right now. They got single file pretty much for the most part now. They made a couple groups between one or two of them, and not a whole lot going on.
Not a whole lot going on, but Dohar gets into the wall, and that's going to allow the 42 to finally make a move and pass him on the inside. Thrills, please stay off that apron, I'm telling you. That slows him up as he's trying to save it, and Dohar's just all over his bumper, not letting him go at all. The pressure is on him, and Thrills is on the move.
You want to talk about pressure right now? Pressure is on the 17 of Fluffy.
17.
Yeah, right. Yeah, 17, sorry. 32 right now is tailing him in tow with a good amount of draft, with the 8 behind him falling back to third from the lead. So Rybred is knocking down the heels of that 17 right now.
Yeah, Fluffy
16.
on the move. We have 25 to go at the line, and you can see him catching up to Super NASCAR fan. You have Rybred and TomTom, as Element said, directly behind them. These guys are going to try to make a move on Fluffy here, but Fluffy's going to have his hands full in a minute with Super NASCAR fan directly in front of him. We are now, Element, in the pit window for these guys to be able to pit now and make it all the way to the finish. It's going to be tight if you pit right now. But the window is there.
I don't care if the window is there. Hit at the very last moment. You want the very freshest tires at the end of this run.
Oh,
that's
Lordy.
going to make the difference up.
Close call for our leader and Super NASCAR fan. After Fluffy almost loses it, he pulls over and allows P2 and 3 to go on by. But that cost Fluffy some time right there.
Yeah, that hurt Fluffy quite a bit. Just a racing ordeal, lap traffic, wants to stay on the lead lap, gets loose, you know. Just a little things being a leader. You got to be the first one to deal with it.
You see Rangers in P4. He sees the group ahead of him. He's got Ski behind him, but he's kind of on his own little island right now, and that's not what he wants to see, or maybe it is. It's a lot less guys to have to worry about if they're going to get loose in front of you.
I think that's the island you want to be on right now. You want to be a lone man island.
As long as you're fast. If you have the speed for it, sure. If you don't, and you're trying to catch these top 3, you're going to need some help.
Oh, you don't need the draft. He's got it right now. He can smell,
I mean, it's Rangers.
He's got it.
Yes.
Yeah, he's got the draft.
Rybred falling back a little bit, and that's going to help Rangers out. You can tell he's going to be able to get that draft a little bit. As much draft as there is at Darlington, I don't even know if you can say that there's much, but it's definitely a thing. But we have Fluffy out there in the lead, TomTom in second, Rybred in third. We have Rangers in fourth, Ski in fifth, and these guys are so far spread out, and you can see them getting loose way off in the distance, going way down low as they're trying to make their way back up.
Well, that moves Rybred right up into second place still, and with no pressure. So let's see if he can settle down a little bit and chase down that 16 and praise Dale.
J-Mac directly in front of Wild Redneck. What do you see?
They're both going at the same time. They both looked like they were going to lose it, but both the 16 and the 32 went into the pit road at the same time.
Super NASCAR fan trying to get on the pit road almost makes his way back up the track. Man, what a scary situation for J-Mac and the 47. They also have Justin directly behind him, along with the 42 of Thrills. Man, oh man. Very, very close out here. You can see a lot of guys going way under. J-Mac, I don't know if that's a signal to pit or whether that's a signal. Okay, he's pitting. J-Mac's gonna go off and go ahead.
I hope he's pitting.
He's definitely
I was just
pitting.
I was riding at his hood, and it looks like they didn't fix the glitch from the way his hood looks.
It's pretty banged up, and you can see some tires through it, so you know he's not having a good day right now.
Oh no, you can hear that big old deep Texan voice right now. Like,
17 to go at the line. We have another taker for pit road. That is Thrills trying to make his way in there, and 47 wrecks out as he's trying to make his way onto pit road. Definitely gonna hurt his efforts here tonight. Justin still on the track making his way around. Honeycutt going on to pit road. We have Gary on to pit road, the 11 coming out of pit road. That's gonna shake things up as they make their way around. You see Tom Flitty on the track, Fluffy out there, and Rybread.
that was huge for Scott Hall for Life. I believe he needed that to happen because they were pitting a lap before he was going in, and then them having that issue getting on the pit road was monumental. That's a couple more spots for him to push himself ahead of Super NASCAR Fan.
Yeah, what a night tonight. Absolutely insane. So much going on, so much on the line. The number 8 of Tom Flitty all by himself on his own little island here. You see directly behind, well, not directly, but behind him we have 2 cars. It looks like Fluffy and Rybread. So great pit entry for Tom Flitty there. The 16 of Fluffy and Rybread working together. That is P2 and P3 right there. Rybread getting loose, gonna have to scoop himself back up and on the track. A lot of stragglers out there going on for P4 and P5, but guys are really spread out. 15 to go at the line, guys. We're just a handful of way before we crown our winner, and we find out who's gonna take over the 12 spots for the playoffs.
Yeah, and the battle I had a coughing attack.
That's always fun.
Still trying to gather myself a little bit. But the battle I've been watching all night is that battle between Super NASCAR Fan and Scott Hall for Life for that final transfer spot in the top 12. And Scott's looking like he's done what he needed to do all night, and that's finish ahead of Super NASCAR Fan each stage. So if he can finish ahead in the race, I really feel like he's going to fill that last transfer spot into the top 12.
You know, and isn't Super NASCAR Fan, he's a lap down at this point. So, yeah, that's definitely no good for him. But Scott Hall looking pretty good right now as the 47 is spun around on the track. Holds it out right there as to not affect anyone else. But, man, you hate to see it for him. He just came off of a win last week.
It's amazing. You can come off a win and struggle the next week, but it also comes down to driver preference for tracks as well, and how the whole race goes for them. Any little thing can just screw up an entire race for you.
Absolutely. The 51 gets into the wall as we have 12 to go. Ski on the inside, the 51 on the outside. Ski gets shoved into the wall on the inside wall. Man, Ski's gonna go into pit road. He was having such a good night tonight. Very, very solid. So let's see where he finishes. I think that's a great call for him to go in at that time too. He made some contact with the car next to him of 51 and slowed him up a little bit. He got some damage. Let's go in, repair it, come back out, and save that. I don't know who that is behind Justin, but I do believe it is the 42 of Thrills who just absolutely sends it into that turn. And it sticks, but before that, makes some contact with the wall, but before the turn before that got loose off the exit. Justin, I know, was not thrilled with the track here. And I know he has struggled a little bit, but he's making his way around.
Yeah, there's quite a bit going on. They're a little bit spread out right now, but you still got a few of them getting a little loose off 2 and 4 right now. Struggling with the handling, trying to gather it up. So we might have a late caution here that could really jumble it up.
Well, if we're going to have a late caution, they need to do it soon, because once we hit 5 to go and we are at 9, there are no more cautions. So TomTom Flitty in the lead. You see Fluffy back there. You see Rangers back there, and who is in second? Is that, that's the 47, and I do believe he is a lap down from that, so he will not be second if I'm not mistaken. Wild Wreck next, since he spun out earlier. Look at the distance between first and second of Fluffy, though. If TomTom can hold this out, stay clear of the apron, stay away from the wall, he will be the winner here tonight at Darlington. And let me see how many wins he's got. That will be the second win for him if he can pull that off tonight.
That would make 3 drivers 2-time winners this year.
Absolutely.
Oof.
Dohar would be 1, Rangers would be 1, and then TomTom would be the third here. We had Dohar winning Michigan and Daytona, the start of the race, start of the season, I should say. We had Rangers winning the 3rd race at Iowa, along with the 5th race at New Hampshire. TomTom won race 6 at Charlotte, but we're down to 6 laps to go, Element. We're coming down to the wire here. 1 more lap to go, and there will not be any more cautions. We have the Fluffy out here as the 16. We have Rye directly behind him, and we have Rangers. He's going to be in 4th. It is just coming down to the wire here, and they do have a car between them and the leader of TomTom, who is a lap down. But Wild Wreckneck, very talented here, just not the best luck here tonight. But I don't see him being an issue for these guys. Knock on wood.
No, he won't be an issue. It's honestly Tom's race to lose. He has to make 0 mistakes from here on out. If he can do that, it's definitely his race to win.
Great save by Rye. It looked like Fluffy may have gotten a little loose and stacked it up. Rye had to dive it down low, or he got loose. I'm not sure which, as he gets loose again coming off that turn. Saves it and tucks behind Rangers. But a great start for him here tonight. So much distance between these guys. I'm looking at the entire back stretch, or the front stretch, I should say. There is no one. You see the top 4 drivers here, 3 to go at the line. So we're definitely down to the wire. TomTom just needs to hold on to it for a few more laps, and we will crown him in here the winner at Darlington Raceway. I don't think these guys are going to catch him, Element.
No. No. I was trying to hesitate for, like, good measure, but the short answer, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Not gonna happen. I mean, that's just...
He's put in a lot of time here, a lot of practice on the track, and man, he just shows how strong he is. But Fluffy and Rangers definitely not making it easy for him tonight. We saw so many lead changes for these guys.
Oh, he smacked the wall.
I saw.
He smacked the wall on it too. Now
I
that could be a little bit of a game changer. They close in quite a bit.
Do a couple more of those, and it's not going to be good day here. But this is the final lap. We're in turn 1 for TomTom Flitty. Can we bring him around the track safe and sound and get him as the winner? We're going to find out. Getting really low on that apron, but you can see the guys behind. I mean, he's, as long as he can hold on to it in 3 and 4, he will be the winner. So let's get him across that start-finish line. Here he comes around turn 4. He's making his way, and TomTom Flitty will be your winner here at Darlington Raceway. He tamed the track. Too tough to tame. Congratulations to him. We're going to have Fluffy in second, and Rangers in the top 3. Let's not forget about Rye Bread in the 4th. I'm not sure who the top 5 is though. Let's take a look if we can find out.
I don't know, Frozen. I don't know if he tamed the lady too tough to tame. I think she tamed him a couple times. Just saying.
All right, let me go back up here and take a look. Fluffy in 2nd, Tom Tom is the winner, and we're gonna have Rangers in 3rd. A lot of points from these stages tonight, and the win for Tom Tom is gonna give him more playoff points, which is a great thing for him. Rock says, congratulations, Tom Tom. A long, long night. One of the longest races of the season besides Charlotte. I'm curious to hear what these guys have to say after this one.
It's gonna be a lot.
I think so. I think so. We'll get these guys in the booth. Tom Tom has the fastest lap. Look at that lap time, a 28.7. What in the world? All right, where's Fluffy? All right, Rangers and Fluffy. Let's get him in. We'll wait a second for these guys to get in, and here comes our winner right now. Man, oh man, Tom Tom, what a great night for you. We saw so many ups and downs for you. I saw a couple of incidents on the apron. Take us through what happened with you.
Oh my god. Well, first of all, man, what a long race. I can't believe that I came back and got it done. Fluffy and I had a hell of a battle for the win. It's a shame that he kind of got held back there with traffic after the last pit stop, because I would have liked to, race it out with him. I got a little bit frustrated earlier in the race and kind of let things get to the best of me for a little while in the middle of the race. I'd get up there and crash, and then drive up, and then get to the lead and crash. So, I mean, you guys were probably wondering what the hell was going on, and I kind of was wondering the same thing myself. It's not an easy track. It's really not. I mean, I was really fast, and Fluffy was really fast. A couple other guys, Rangers, and Kyle Fan, and who else? Skabowski was up there.
Yeah.
It's a driver's racetrack. I mean, it's not easy to run around there. And then, running side by side with people, that's, oh my god.
Whole different story.
That's a whole other animal. Yeah, that's near impossible here. So, I mean, we did the best we could, and there were a lot of wrecks, but, I mean, you guys go out there and try to do it. That's all I gotta say about it.
I mean, the few times I saw a couple go 3 wide into the turns, I'm like, you guys are all crazy.
Oh yeah, that was one of those restarts where I think I was a little bit fired up about something, and we were 3 wide a little bit here and there, and somehow we made it through, I think.
Yeah, you did.
But there was a lot of chaos from the front all the way to the back. I mean, the whole race. I'm sure there's a lot of people that are mad and pissed off, but I mean, overall, it's just a really tough track to race on and race around people. So it's just tight, close racing, and accidents happen.
Well, you joined 2 others as the winner of 2 races this season, so congratulations to you. A great job tonight. Like you said, we saw you get wreck on the apron, went to the back, made your way all the way up to the front a couple of times, so great job. I mean, obviously you have a ton of skill here, so congratulations on your win, Tom Tom.
Yeah, thank you, and it definitely wasn't easy, so kudos to everybody that was involved tonight.
For sure. All right, Element, let's bring Fluffy in. Finished P2.
Fluffy! So, P2 after that long race, leading all those laps. What happened to you to succumbing to Tom and taking home P2? What happened after looking like the dominant man, the man with the cojones tonight for everybody to beat? What happened?
I don't know, man. I know we had a hell of a number 16 car. I know that. I mean, I try to maneuver my way through everything tonight rather than trying not to wreck the race car. And that last cycle of pit stops really, it really screwed me. I don't know what in God's green earth the 32 was doing at the end of the pit road. He just braked and front end damage, and so it kind of screwed us there. Obviously, we had a tight car, and that front end damage, it just kind of screwed us all together to get the number 8 there. But overall, man, I mean, I can't really hold my head down about it. You know, I battled pretty much all night long to really try to get this win tonight. And I mean, you know, take it from a guy that's coming from PlayStation, trying to win a league on Xbox, it's not really easy. So, but yeah, me and the 8. I mean, obviously that was the battle of this season. It looks like. I mean, that was one hell of a battle between me and Tom there, but just unfortunate that we couldn't get the battle there at the end after the pit cycles there. But overall, man, we had a really hell of a number 16 spin Mustang, but just unfortunate that we couldn't get it done tonight.
Yeah, you guys look great up there battling for the lead. Like, time after time. You know, like, the whole jam goes. Yeah, that was some good battling. That was fun to watch.
For sure.
Yeah, you had a great car out there. We're gonna see if we can get Rangers in here. I think he's having trouble joining. Can you send him an invite, Element?
I've been trying.
Yeah, I sent him one already.
That's why I sent you a
I
message.
just let him know it's open.
Yeah, it's definitely open. But
Okay.
yeah, the battles between you two were so much fun to watch. I wish we could have seen that at the end. I'm sure Tom is like, no.
I'm okay with the way it worked out. But...
I bet. But that brings us over to Rangers, who also had such another strong night. Finished P3 tonight. Rangers, take us through your race.
Well, it was eventful. Not so much for myself, but just in general.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was. It's a tough track. I mean, it really is. I about died about 100 different times off of 2, and it was tough to pass. And the drafts was stupidly strong for not the biggest track, but overall, the night was good. I'll take 3rd. I was coming there at the end. I had 2 lap pressure tires. It's just hard to pass around this place. And other than that, it was a great night.
Yeah, you definitely had a great race, and like you were talking about going off the turns, it's just a hard track. I can't tell you how many times I saw the entire group of drivers coming off the exits, all going way below the apron, just trying to save their car. I mean, it just goes to show how loose it is out there, especially when going too wide. But you 3 did an amazing job tonight, and Rangers, congratulations on that 3rd.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, guys, that is it for us tonight. A very long race at 184 laps, but these guys did a heck of a job. Next week is the start of the playoffs. We're going to be headed to Indianapolis. It's going to be another crazy race. I feel like every race gets just a little more crazier than the last. So we'll see what these guys can bring to the track. But until then, you guys have a great night. The race will start at 7:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You guys take it easy. That was such a long race.